Thank the Lord for so much. Coming back once again, giving a great shout out to everybody. God bless. Now I want to come back and do this video. If you just looked at the video I did about the format on how I study the Bible and how I write down different things when I learn about who's doing the talking, who it talks to, where it took place, and all the different things we was explaining in that video. Well, y'all remember the video on her I did on the story of Job. So I can come back and actually use that video, and this video won't be long at all because I was, showing how I study and what do I get out of what I study. So I got my little notes here again. Like I say, I always pray and tell the Lord to reveal everything in the spirit. And so let's just use the story on Job, and actually the whole book of Job. So I always tell you, I look at the author first, and this is what I was saying in the other video, where when you look at the book of Job, the author gonna say unknown. That's why I always just say God did it. When you see unknown in so many, chapters, books of the Bible, you'll see unknown. So I'll say God wrote it. And a lot of people don't agree with that because so many people are caught up on who did this. And we get so caught up in so many things that ain't even important. If it say unknown, I'm going to say God wrote it. Because I'm like Papa JT, God wrote the Bible. And I know people don't agree with that, but that's how I look at it, man, because man haven't created nothing but a bunch of confusion. So when you see unknown, don't let that discourage you from reading the books of the Bible. So let's take the video I did on Job. Now, even though the author says unknown, so I say, well, that's God. Just like when you look at Psalms, it says David and others. When you look at Solomon, it says Solomon and other wise men. So we all know it's all tied in with God anyway. So why was this book written? Well, Job was written to help people learn that suffering is not always punishment from God. And we should all know that by now. That's why I say God will allow bad things to happen to good people because it rains on the just as well as the unjust. But the sad thing is so many people want to walk around here and don't go through nothing. So that's what I learned also, that suffering is not always punishment from God. And what happened in this book? Well, like I say, I'll just kind of briefly go through what I was hitting on in the story. Well, like I was saying, terrible things happened to Job. Job and his 3 friends discuss why God let them things happen. And God tells Job and his friends to just trust him. And then God heals Job and makes him wealthy again because, like I was saying, God allowed Satan to do those things to Job. When you learned about the sores on his body, he losing his family, even his own wife told him to curse God and die. Well, Job got back double for his trouble, people. He got back double for his trouble. Job got back more than he had at first. Because God had to show Satan, like I said in that other video, if you can't get Job, my servant, my good buddy Job, then you don't have no chance with me. Remember also, the devil tried to tempt Jesus. He was tempting Jesus out there in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. That's why God is so awesome. When God allows things to happen to you bad, it's not always his punishment. Really, you're going to have a blessing coming out of it. Trials and tribulations, tests and trials come to make you strong. I keep telling people, how you going to have a testimony if you don't have a test? So I didn't want to point that out. And what else did we learn in this book? Well, we learned also that the story of Job took place in the land of Uz. That's why I always say, know who's doing the talking, who is talking to, where is it taking place at. So like I say, some of the things we learned was that Satan destroyed Job's wealth and his family. And then Satan makes Job very ill. And then Job says God isn't fair. See, Job got a little angry. He said, God isn't fair. And then remember, God said, where were you, Job? Where were you? God had to remind Job, but that didn't mean that Job was cursing God. No, because Job was an upright man. Even if he did something wrong, he didn't know people. Job was an upright man. That's what we learned also. but God give him double for his trouble, in spite of all Job went through. So this is just an example of that video I did on the story of Job. We learned those different things, that he was an upright man. Job never sinned against God. God allowed Satan to take away his family and take away his wealth and do those things to Job. But in the long run, Job got back double for his trouble. So that's the most important thing I learned too. When God is doing things in my life and it seems like it's bad and I'm being punished, well, God is doing everything for a purpose. That's why I try my best not to get angry with God. I try my best not to do that. I try my best not to even question God. But you know, even in the Bible, Moses questioned God. So many people was dealing with. Moses didn't want to lead them people. If you look at it from the whole aspect of it, Moses told God at the beginning he wasn't even the one to do it. He said, my speech ain't even right. I can't even speak right. And God told Moses, did I not make your mouth, Moses? Moses was still complaining. Then he said, I'll send your brother Aaron with you, because Aaron spoke well. See, I use this for an example. This is the way we do God. When God tells us to do things, we give him all kind of excuses. We'll tell God in a minute, I'm not doing that. But ain't it amazing how God will make an example out of you? But you also notice that God don't make you do nothing. That's why we have the free will to do right or wrong, to make choices. And that's amazing to me that God even still allow us to do that in spite of how bad we have been. Think about it, people, if free will was taken away. And I'm going to get out of here on that. God bless you.